Willowbrook Mansion, with its ominous, looming presence, stood on the outskirts of the small, forgotten town of Black Ridge. It was a mansion that had witnessed centuries of secrets and stories, but none as harrowing as the one I'm about to tell you. It all began with a peculiar letter that arrived at my doorstep on a dark, stormy night. The address was handwritten in elegant, looping script, and the envelope bore the seal of the Willowbrook family. I had heard tales of the Willowbrook Mansion, stories of hauntings, curses, and unsolved mysteries. It was a place that sent shivers down the spines of the townsfolk, and few ever dared to approach it. Curiosity piqued, I opened the letter to find an invitation inviting me to attend a grand event at Willowbrook Mansion. The event was set for the eve of the autumn equinox, a night said to have potent supernatural energies. The letter did not specify who the sender was, but a single sentence caught my attention. Your presence is requested to bear witness to the unveiling of a long-lost truth. Intrigued and somewhat apprehensive, I accepted the invitation, and on the appointed evening made my way to the mansion. The wind howled ominously and the skies unleashed torrents of rain, but I couldn't resist the allure of a long-lost truth. The mansion appeared even more imposing up close, its stone walls seemingly reaching into the heavens. A pair of massive wrought iron gates creaked open, allowing me entry into the courtyard, which was overgrown with ivy and shadows. The courtyard was adorned with statues of enigmatic figures, their faces eroded by time. As I entered the grand hall, I was greeted by a scene that could only be described as surreal. The room was bathed in an eerie greenish light emanating from a gigantic crystal chandelier. An assortment of peculiar guests milled about, all wearing elegant attire from different eras: Victorian, roaring 20s, even medieval. Their eyes seemed to pierce through my soul, and their expressions bore the weight of countless secrets. At the center of the room stood a massive covered object draped in heavy, dust-covered fabric. A sense of anticipation filled the air. The attendees whispered excitedly, their voices hushed, as if afraid to disturb the mansion's restless spirits. A hush fell over the room as an elderly gentleman emerged from the shadows, introducing himself as Professor Enoch Willowbrook. He was the last living member of the Willowbrook family, and his presence was both haunting and mesmerizing. With a flourish, he unveiled the covered object, revealing a portrait of a woman whose eyes held an unsettling familiarity. The woman in the portrait was named Elara Willowbrook, a name that sent shivers down the spines of the attendees. The professor's voice quivered as he recounted the tragic tale of Elara, who had lived in the mansion over 2 centuries ago. She was a brilliant, enigmatic artist who had become obsessed with capturing the essence of life and death in her paintings. Elara's obsession led her to commit unspeakable acts, including human experimentation, in her pursuit of forbidden knowledge. Legend had it that she made a pact with dark forces to imbue her paintings with a sinister, malevolent power. As the professor continued his story, the walls of the mansion seemed to close in, and the chandelier's eerie glow intensified. He revealed that the portraits Elara created had a sinister power. They could trap the souls of those who gazed upon them, dooming them to wander the mansion for all eternity. The professor's voice quivered as he confessed that the mansion's curse, born from Elara's obsession, had persisted through the ages. His own ancestors had suffered from the curse, and he believed that the curse had manifested itself in the attendees as well. As if on cue, the mansion came alive with eerie sounds, whispers, cries, and inexplicable footsteps echoed through the hallways. The portraits on the walls appeared to come to life, their eyes following our every move. It was a nightmarish symphony of the paranormal. The attendees, including myself, felt an oppressive weight on our chests, as if unseen hands were closing in on us. Panic and fear swept through the room as guests tried to flee. The doors slammed shut and the windows rattled with a supernatural force. In the midst of the chaos, the professor's voice rose above the cacophony. He implored us to confront the curse and break its hold on us. He revealed that he had invited us to the mansion to bear witness to the truth, that the only way to escape the curse was to confront Alara herself. With a sense of grim determination, a small group of attendees, myself included, decided to confront the curse head-on. We followed the professor through winding corridors, our steps echoing through the labyrinthine mansion. The professor led us to a hidden chamber deep within the mansion, where a massive painting dominated the room. Alara's eyes seemed to pierce through our souls, and her sinister smile sent shivers down our spines. With trembling hands, the professor handed each of us a paintbrush and instructed us to dip it in a peculiar glowing paint. He revealed that this paint was the key to confronting the curse, to rewrite the destiny of Alara's victims. In a surreal and otherworldly experience, we began to paint on the canvas, each stroke revealing the torment and despair that had plagued Alara's victims for centuries. As the painting took form, the mansion seemed to convulse with an otherworldly energy. As the final strokes were made, the professor's voice rang out with a mixture of relief and melancholy. He confessed that he had never been able to bring himself to confront Alara, his own ancestor, until that fateful night. The unveiling of the truth had come at a great cost, but it was the only way to free us from the curse. The mansion's haunting echoes grew silent, and a sense of peace settled over the room. We had confronted the curse and unveiled the truth of Willowbrook Mansion. The professor, overcome with emotion, revealed the fate of Alara, her eternal imprisonment within the very painting we had just altered. With the curse lifted, the attendees began to disperse, their faces now free of the weight of secrets. The mansion seemed to sigh in relief, its dark history finally confronted. As I made my way to the mansion's grand hall, I glanced back at the now serene portrait of Alara Willowbrook. Her eyes no longer held the power to ensnare souls. The curse had been broken. The professor approached me, his eyes filled with gratitude. He had fulfilled his family's long-standing duty to break the curse, and in doing so, he had granted us all a chance at redemption. With one final nod, I left Willowbrook Mansion behind, forever changed by the haunting experience. The secrets of the mansion were now unveiled, but the echoes of its history would forever linger in the shadows of Black Ridge. The invitation to Willowbrook Mansion had led me to confront the curses of the past, to unveil the truth, and to break the chains of a centuries-old curse. As I left the mansion and the stormy night behind, I couldn't help but wonder if the spirits of Alara and her victims were finally at peace. One thing was certain, the mysteries of Willowbrook Mansion would continue to haunt my dreams for years to come.